A little girl with a face so strikingly beautiful that strangers stopped to stare grew up to see her own beauty not as a gift, but as a danger to guard against. Today, August 23, the Church honors Saint Rose of Lima, born Isabel Flores de Oliva on April 20, 1586, in Lima, in the Viceroyalty of Peru, and who died on August 24, 1617, at just 31 years old. Everyone called her Rose from childhood because of that beauty, and as she grew, the attention it drew from suitors troubled her so deeply that she cut off her own hair and roughened her hands with hard labor to discourage every one of them. When she came of age, she refused every marriage proposal, took a vow of perpetual chastity, and joined the Third Order of Saint Dominic, inspired directly by the example of Saint Catherine of Siena. In a small prayer cell she built in her own family's backyard, she lived years of intense penance, fasting severely, wearing a painful hairshirt, and, for her last 14 years, sleeping on a bed she made herself out of broken glass, stones, and thorns. Yet she poured just as much energy into caring for Lima's poorest, sick, and indigenous neighbors, growing flowers and sewing to personally fund that charity. Canonized by Pope Clement X in 1671, she became the first person born in the Americas ever declared a saint, and she is honored today as patron of all Latin America, Peru, and the Philippines, her life teaching that true beauty is measured by what you give away, not by what you were given. On this same August 23, many years later and across an entire ocean, a young Englishman would risk his life not to conquer new lands, but to secretly serve a faith the law had outlawed. This is Blessed William Freeman, born around 1558 in Manthorpe, near York, England, to a Catholic recusant family, and who died a martyr on August 13, 1595, at about 37 years old, in Warwick. For a time William conformed outwardly to the Church of England, even earning an arts degree from Magdalen College, Oxford, in 1581, but everything changed in 1586, when he personally witnessed the public execution of the Catholic priest Edward Stransham in London. That single moment turned him back to the Catholic faith and pushed him to leave England to train for the priesthood abroad. Ordained in 1587 at the English College in Reims, France, William secretly returned to England in 1589 and spent 6 dangerous years quietly ministering to Catholics in the Warwickshire countryside under Elizabeth I's harsh penal laws. Authorities finally caught him in January 1595, after discovering he had secretly been working as a private tutor for a Catholic family, and after 7 months in prison he was convicted of treason and executed by hanging, drawing, and quartering in a public square. Beatified by Pope Pius XI in 1929 together with 135 other English martyrs, William's life teaches that real conversion sometimes costs everything, and that no law can outlaw a conscience that has truly found its faith. In a very different story from centuries earlier, 3 brothers discovered that the greatest danger to their faith came not from a Roman governor, but from inside their own family. These are Saints Claudius, Asterius, and Neon, 3 brothers from the city of Aegae, in the region of Cilicia, in what is now Turkey, who were martyred around the year 285, in the persecutions that came just before Emperor Diocletian's reign. According to tradition, their own stepmother denounced them to the Roman authorities, driven not by religious zeal but by the far more ordinary sin of greed, hoping to seize the inheritance that rightfully belonged to her stepsons. Brought before the Roman proconsul Lysias, Claudius, Asterius, and Neon refused every pressure to renounce Christ, and were condemned to death alongside 2 Christian women martyred in that same episode, Domnina and Theonilla, the latter caught after hiding in the mountains. Their joint cult spread widely across the Eastern Church in the centuries that followed, still honored today both on the Western liturgical calendar on August 23 and in the Greek Orthodox tradition. Their story teaches that betrayal can wound deepest when it comes from someone who should have loved us, and that faith held firm through that wound becomes its own kind of victory. And with that, we close today's 3 saints. If these lives moved you, follow Saint of the Day, like this video, and comment asking the intercession of Saint Rose of Lima, Blessed William Freeman, or Saints Claudius, Asterius, and Neon for someone you love, because every like, comment, and share like that truly is a small act of evangelization. Most of all, share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. And remember, the complete prayer to each of them is right here in the video description.